How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to take a look back at Wednesday night's FA Cup games, and the last piece of news involves referees because it looks like they might be getting given a new card to wave around.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start is Wednesday night's FA Cup replays. Couple of games in there. First of all, Nottingham Forest against Bristol City. 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, goes to penalties, and Nottingham Forest go through. Matt Turner was the unlikely hero. If there's one thing he's actually decent at, it is penalties. But it's good for him, given the fact he's made some high-profile mistakes of late. So it was nice to see him on the receiving end of some positive news. But what that means is that Nottingham Forest will now play Manchester United in the next round. They will be at home, and that will be an interesting tie when you think about the Premier League game recently where Nottingham Forest won. They'll go into that game with a little bit of confidence, but they got the job done. Bristol City will kick themselves and feel that's an opportunity missed because they had enough chances to win the game. Over the two games, they had enough chances, but yeah, it's Nottingham Forest that go through. The next game, Aston Villa against Chelsea. And this was a very comprehensive 3-1 win for Chelsea. They actually went 3-0 ahead in this game. It was a consolation goal from Aston Villa. But the job was done, the damage was done, and Chelsea, they go and get themselves a win. And this is what I say about Chelsea, is that every time Pochettino looks like he might be in a little bit of danger, they pull a result out of the bag and then everything looks rosy. And the issue is that the next game and the next game and the next game is that Chelsea then go back to being crap. But yeah, listen, the pick of the goals, Enzo Fernandez, the free kick, top corner, couldn't have hit it any more in the corner. Stanchion, what a goal that was. Hats off, what a free kick. But Aston Villa, listen, one win in their last 5, and that was only against a very, very poor Sheffield United side. And this is the issue, and I've said it with Unai Emery, you have that honeymoon period and everything's great and rosy and perfect and everything else, and that's what everybody was talking about, and then all of a sudden you start getting performances like this. And listen, Aston Villa was a full strength side. It wasn't like they played like a load of kids or anything else, and yeah, it's not a great result for them. Chelsea go through to the next round, and what will be interesting is how they get on when they go into Premier League action. Will they return to type and start being a load of rubbish? Or will this be the point where they turn a corner? They need to turn some kind of corner because at the moment they're 11th in the league. They're not going to get relegated and they're not going to get a European place. They're kind of just in the middle. So we'll see what happens, moving forward. Last piece of news, and this is a very, very interesting one. But the football lawmakers, IFAB, are looking to trial sin bins next season. And they're going to be giving referees a blue card. Now, if you know anything about non-league, lower level, you'll know that sin bins have already been introduced. My team have already been on the receiving end of some sin bins this season. But predominantly it's for, foul and abusive language, etc. What they're also looking to implement this for is for, cynical fouls is what we'll call it. When there's a breakaway and somebody, takes one for the team, shall we say. They're going to look to put you in a sin bin for that. Now, it's not going to be introduced into the Premier League or anything anytime soon. FIFA have already said that, this is not something that they're quite happy with. And it's not going to go straight in at the top level or anything else. It would be more down the lower ends of the pyramid of the professional game. So League 1s, League 2s, I'm presuming, something like that. It could be introduced in the FA Cup. That could be an issue, where they trial it. But my, concern of this is that you've given referees 2 cards to choose from already, which is yellow and red, and they can't get them right. Now you're giving them another one. And it's like, oh, mate, this lot are going to be like Father Christmas. They're going to be like having the most fun ever, waving cards around. And it's like, you know, what classes as a cynical foul? Are we going to start having, you know, parts in a game where a referee interprets one as cynical when it's not, or vice versa, and you're just going to end up with confusion again? It's kind of, all right, I get the foul and abusive language one. Why don't you just stick to that? But then on the flip side, how many times do we watch the TV in a game and we see the foul and abusive language that players are giving referees and nothing ever gets done? So what happens if that's implemented, but then you get a referee that has a low tolerance and he's just blue card, blue card, blue card. And then you got one with a more higher tolerance and he's like, calm down, relax. If you carry on, you'll get a blue card, you'll be in the sin bin. And then you'll get that same argument where one goes, well, last week, such and such swore at the referee and he got put straight in the sin bin. And this week, the guy swears and he gets a talking to. This is where we have issues, and this is where we have conflicts of interest, because there's no consistency. It should be referees told, if someone's foul and abusive towards you, blue card, sin bin. No exceptions, no talking tos, no nothing. But they don't ever lay it down in that way. They're like, well, you know, you can maybe, it's open to interpretation. And this is where you're going to ultimately have problems. At the moment, what I will say with the sin bins and everything, there's no blue card or anything. It's a yellow card. The referees actually brandish the yellow card and tell you it's a 10-minute sin bin. So yeah, it's I don't know how I feel about it. Just simply because you're going to be giving more tools to a referee that's already struggling with the tools that they have. That's my issue. Are you going to make it more confusing? Are you going to make it more difficult for them? I don't know where I sit with it, to be honest with you. And that's exactly what I was saying. I just don't know where I'm sitting with it. So it's an interesting one, and we will see what happens and whether this comes, to fruition next season, and who the first one's going to be in terms of the punishment. Be interesting, wouldn't it? But yeah, look, listen, that is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. Let me know what you think about blue cards. Do you agree or disagree? If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.